The next speaker is Lukasz. I would like to introduce to him. He is an e-commerce solution architect at Swift Orchards, and he's having 12 years of experience being in this industry, and he's going to talk about mental health awareness. So please put your hands together for Lukasz. एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए उनके लिए. Thank you so much. Over to you, Lukasz.
Thank you. Okay. First check. I think you can hear me. I'm really sorry I sound like I sound. It's like I came to Delhi and this air just overwhelmed me. So I need to help myself a little bit. Actually, I wanted to introduce myself from Namaste. मेरा नाम Lukasz है. मैं Poland. I forgot this one. But yeah, I tried to introduce myself in your local way. Unless we get the presentation on place, I wanted to say that I'm here with this speech for the first time in the world. I came to you because India is a very specific place on the map of the world. And yeah, and now I need the presentation. So we don't need to have it full screen, but just, okay, yeah. Perfect. So, as we have some technical issues, I will tell you why this subject. Because mental health is a problem that we already had before. And there were people in Magento ecosystem who were talking about mental health. But these people, unfortunately, due to Adobe layoffs, they were removed from the community. So we no longer have people to take care about it. We no longer have people who roam around the conferences and talk about the mental health. And actually, what happened, even worse than the COVID, even worse than the Adobe acquisition, is actually COVID. And COVID changed the way that we work, that we live, that we travel. So that's why I'm here. I feel that this year, my mission is to talk about not being alone in all of these. And now I can take my clicker, because it should work. Perfect. So, every 40 seconds in the world, someone gives up. Means hanging up, shooting with firearms, takes drugs. They commit suicide. I have 15 minutes of this speech. Imagine that 20 of you disappear during this speech because they cannot handle issues, mental issues. And, oh, come on. And yeah, that was my introduction. And if you think that you don't know anyone who had these issues, only on TV, internet, on social media, you have plenty of them. One of the most known, Robin Williams, he was comedian. He was making us laugh to death, like to death, and he died. He committed suicide. The same Chester Bennington, full stages of audience, the musician of Linkin Park. Aaron Schwartz, you know him, but you use his work. You know him, but not by name, because he's the one of the parents of Creative Commons. So video, music, and any PDFs you download for free from internet, he is one of the fathers of that. Other than that, Amy Blowell, she was an ambassador of mental health, and she killed herself. So Marilyn Monroe, Amy Winehouse, you can find like hundreds of, like thousands of known names, but actually every 7th person in the world have mental issues. So I feel we need to talk about it. First, why I'm here. After very difficult childhood, I finally moved out of my toxic city. That's very personal. I'm sharing that to make you understand more why I feel obliged to talk about it. I moved out from the toxic city. I changed the surrounding. I decided to move on with my life. I started to work for some IT company. and I've been developing myself, developing software. I decided to go on and join Accenture. I wanted to develop my own team, but my manager didn't like the idea of, gathering together. So after 9 months, I left corporation. I moved to the bigger firm, to different firm, and I decided to still build the knowledge, but also build the people together, like connect people together. And then suddenly it turned out that the company was toxic. Like my boss was calling me Friday 8 p.m. Hey, Bernard broke something. You need to fix it. And it was Friday 8 p.m. And that was the decision: private life or work, like relationship or career. And of course, I chose career. And that was a mistake, one of the few I've made. Again, I joined a different company. I started all over again, and I was on the top, and again, there were some issues. I joined American company, small agency. Then it was acquired by Blue Acorn. Then it was acquired by Infosys. So all the family atmosphere was gone. So again, I met some wonderful people. We built a very strong team of like 30 people, very, very strong, very close to each other, and then gone. Like Infosys bought it and like swiped it away. So like my friends who I'm visiting every single time I'm visiting United States are gone. And again, I was like dropped. And my life was like this, unless I found the way to stop the madness. And I joined a small agency, and I started doing something that gives me pleasure, that gives me a feeling of a mission. For this year, this mission is to round the world. And that's like goal I can give up at any moment, but that gives me peace of mind, and also knowing new people and new cultures. And that's about the introduction. Now, let's move to India. Why this place is very specific, why I begin here. Because in India, every 3 minutes someone commits suicide, which means that, that actually during this talk, 5 people will give up, will do something to hurt themselves. And that's one of the highest scores in the world. If you are a developer, if you are a manager, project manager, and whoever who works, and at some point you feel blue. Blue is the special color because blue is the color of depression. If you feel blue one day and you are not sure if that's depression or just bad day, there is a way to find out. So before, I need you to be aware. Brain, like any other organ, is the same. So it can broke one day. It can misfunction, and you also need to give him exercise to make it work better. And, oh, come on. Okay, never mind. Yeah. And how you can recognize. For example, you have constant motivation drop. Like you remember yourself from the last year, and now you can't even motivate yourself to wake up. You can also have problems with sleeping. You go to bed at 11, you fall asleep at 2 a.m., and you don't want to wake up before noon. It's also a symptom that can indicate something is wrong. Third one, eating. Like when I'm stressed, I don't look like, but I'm craving food. When when I'm in the episode of depression, I'm craving food. I eat a lot, like loads of food. I'm never fed up. And self-esteem, you do some huge success, like Friday delivery, Friday deployment, and it went well. But then you are like 1 hour later, you are upset. So these are symptoms that mean you should talk about this with someone. So what you can do for preventing the depression episodes, like to prevent the development of depression, you can start with building community. When I joined the company, that was like the boss was calling me 8 p.m. on Fridays, I created community that is a mastermind group right now. And we, after 5 years, we still support each other. We have Signal group, we have weekly meetings on Google Meet, and we just talk about our lives. Like some of you attended the pre-party yesterday. We did the same. We did mastermind group actually, because we spoke about work and non-work. Like there was a rule. We don't say anything about Magento, about work, and that's building community. You should do it too. Second, physical activity. Although sportsmen also commit suicide, also they have the depression, but you need to focus on properly nourishing your brain. And part of nutrition is oxygen. Oxygen comes when you have sports. Another one, little achievements. That's my piece of cake. When I went through my depression, I started Duolingo to learn Spanish. And after that, after 1 month, I started playing ukulele. And you know, it's like little achievements. When you play new melody, you have little achievement. You have like your mood boost up. So I strongly recommend you, step by step, not forcing yourself. You don't need to play the cover of Metallica after the first day. You just can play 1 stringers a day, and that's perfect. Mindfulness. You are the best people in the world to say you that. Come on, Buddhism is from here. Meditation is from India. So you should be aware about that mindfulness gives the power. Mindfulness changes the structure of your brain. So I strongly recommend you to take the opportunity. Hop on a train, hop on a plane, go to the Buddhist center and, you know, cut off for a week. Learn how to maintain your mind. That's simple as that. I need to go 6,000 kilometers here to do it. You don't need to. You have like, you know, 1,000 kilometers or even 200 kilometers. And last one, speak up. And that's the most important here. Because if you feel blue, if you feel depressed, I spoke with Joseph Maxwell on a podcast about my depression. And on my company chat, on my LinkedIn, on my Twitter, people approached me, hey man, I had the same. And I feel better that you speak up, that we can exchange our experiences. So speak up. If you have company channel, don't be afraid. I know there is a stigma that you shouldn't say about your mental issues. But guys, it's better to say than see someone from your company committing suicide. Because I went through it, and it's difficult. It's extremely difficult when you like you wanted to invite this person for a lunch, but then it's too late. So speak up, ask people how if they are okay. But you know they will say no, I'm fine. They always say I'm fine, but you just leave them post it on their screen or the message on a Signal or Slack. Hey man, if something goes wrong, I'm always here. If you need me after hours, call me please. So that's what I recommend to you. But also, there is another stigma. I went through 3 years of the psychotherapy, and I thought that when I tell other people I'm in psychotherapy, they are going to think I'm like nuts. No, people consider you as someone who takes care about himself. It's the same like you are going to the gym, because psychotherapist is not putting drugs in you and not shaking you like, be normal, be normal. It's not like that. You talk about everyday life, you find the patterns, like the design patterns in programming, and then you learn how to replace one design pattern with another one. And if you have some misconfiguration of your brain, the psychoanalyst helps you understand what is wrong about it, and then just helps you, because he is not doing that for you. He helps you to remove one part from your brain and put the other one, but you have to do it. You have to have skin in the game. Second, medical treatment. Last year, 2022, I went through the deep dive of depression in May, I didn't wake up, like I didn't want to wake up for 3 days in my weekend. And I decided, okay, I'm not going to give up. But I had enough strength to go to the psychiatrist to get antidepressants. And now when I'm down, when I'm like diving down, I'm just taking the antidepressants for like a month or two to just get back to normal. Because my brain probably doesn't work as it should, doesn't work as I expect it to. It's not like constant, it's like sinuses. So don't be afraid. Medicines are not doing you any different. Even if there are some stereotypes, like for example, if you take antidepressants, you're not going to have libido. No, it's like, okay, it's not true. It's like you still have your own personality. You have your own personal traits. You are you, but it's easier to maintain the shots of the dopamine. Last, that's something I found out that in my culture is considered as wrong. That when you take a sick leave from the psychiatrist, you are considered lazy, cheater, and like, yeah, cheater. It's not true. When you break your leg, you're not going to, you are not going as a bus driver to drive a bus because you have broken leg. We work with our brains. And if our brain is not working correctly, the client is going to be charged for your time with broken leg when you cannot kick the ball. It doesn't make sense. It's better to give up for some time, give the time to recover and get back with the full shape. And of course, there are people from business. This is business track. So what can I say? They say, that's not none of my business. Of course it is. It's definitely is. Come on. Because WHO, yes, the ones who were spreading information about COVID, investigated that $1 spent on mental health pays back in $4 of revenue. So if company is doing something to help maintain mental health in company, it doesn't matter if it's yoga lessons in the company or mindfulness time, or I was working with the company which had Zen Fridays, like no meetings, no going outs, like quiet day. It worked well, and women had the mindfulness exercises on Wednesdays. So this kind of investments are proven to give you refund and like return. And what's important, tell me, like outside of crypto, is there any other investment that gives you $4 out of one in 1 year? I know crypto is even more, but guys, please. So 400% of return of investment. It doesn't need money. That's important for the business side now, because I told you developers, now business, you, business. First, you meet people every single day. You see when they are underperforming. So instead of, complaining about them, just recognize what has changed. Ask them, maybe someone died from their family. Maybe they are going through a very difficult breakup. Maybe their children is sick. And second, talk about it. And as I mentioned, you don't need to say, hey, we need to talk. Do you know, like, you know what you feel like when your parents say in the evening, we need to talk tomorrow? No, it doesn't help. What helps is like the way that I want to raise my child is, hey, you can make mistakes, you can do whatever you want with your life, but whatever happens, I'm here, and here's your home, and here's your backup. So the same, as a boss, as a manager, team lead, project manager, you should be supportive, but not forcey. So So you should show the support for, for your team, saying, yes, I'm here. If you need, let's talk. If you need help with your health, child, or whatever, we can maintain that. And encourage through personality traits. I've been to a Polish government program at the end of 2019 where they checked me against Gallup and a 16 personalities test. And then I got the tasks in my startup based on my personality. And it worked perfectly because I'm an activator. I encourage people to do something. And some of you saw yesterday during the pre-party that I was actually trying to boot you up a little bit, like activate you, make you interested in what we do and what other people do. And I'm also discutant, which means I love discussions. So if you recognize your team strengths, you can make tasks, assign tasks based on personality traits, which makes it easier for them to work with each other. What is more, you can invest money, and you can invest in coaching and therapy. It's quite popular recently in Poland that you can choose sports voucher or psychotherapy voucher. Or there are even coaches, like the business coaches in the company. So you can go to them whenever you find it appropriate and ask them, hey, I'm down. Like, I don't know if I'm going to in the right way. So can we talk about it? This kind of person in the company is really helpful. Second, life balance. If you are project manager, remember, client will be gone sooner or later. Developer, good developer, loyal developer will stay. And if you are brave enough to say during the daily or weekly meeting with whole your team, we are family, show that. If that's the cost, the financial cost to deliver a week later, do it. Or hire someone else to help deliver. But don't push the developers, don't push people, don't push project managers to stay over the weekends. Because they have families, they have friends. They need to restart their brains. Last, bottom up. Initiatives that come from the bottom are ultra important because no one else knows what they need than the people themselves. In Strix company in Poland, we used to receive credit cards, prepaid credit cards, and they said, like, whoever wants to go, there is like 1,000 zloty, you can go grab a beer in the city, you can go for the tabletop games bar and spend some time together. And that was like it. It was bottom initiative because they found out that we are going like regularly. We go for tabletop games. And they decided, okay, so we are going to support that. So watch what people do at the bottom and just help them rise. And that's the end of the speech, but not the end of the mission, because I'm here today. I'm also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on. If you like to talk about it, if you'd like to change, make the change, if you have local meetups, you have company meetings, like power-up discussions, spread the word, and I will share the presentation with you. I will share with you where it comes from. I really need you to make this change with me. And we really need to start this change from India, because it's one of the most affected places in the world. Thank you.